Very nice. Almost done. Almost done. 2, 1, and done. All right. Woo!
TopFitPros.com.
So last time I talked about selling training, and I talked about the fact that there are some steps that have to take place before you really even get the opportunity to sell training. And that initial step is that you have to have a name out there in the community. So part of that building of the name is when you work at a gym and you actually help people and they begin to tell other people about you because you're doing such a good job. And that's really important. That's a really important step. But another part is to really be involved in your local community. You need to have contacts with people that are outside of the world of just training. And if you've got those contacts and you're training some of those people that you're in contact with in the outside world, then you're much more likely to have an easy time getting referrals from those people. So decide what parts of community involvement work for you. What parts are genuine? You don't want to do anything that's not false. For example, don't go to a church just to go get clients. But if you believe in what the church is all about and you found a good church that you are comfortable attending, then being in church with other people who have similar beliefs to you is a great way to build community that ultimately will lead to referrals of business from people that you're going to church with. Similarly, if you're doing a community service, like being involved in a major club like Lions Club or Rotary International or Kiwanis or some other service organization, then those people that are involved with that typically are successful professionals, sometimes self-employed, people who are potential clients. And so even though you're there exclusively for the purposes of providing a service and being involved in a service organization, those contacts are great contacts who can often either refer business to you or become clients themselves. And so that involvement is really important. Going and doing service for high school teams is also a positive way. It depends on what you're positioning yourself to be. If you're more oriented towards the youth market, the athlete market, then you might do things with the local athletic groups. But I tell you, in my experience, the better referral source really comes from the organizations that are service-oriented or belief, faith-focused, because those are groups of people who are more involved in the outreach and community and service and will be more likely also to be old enough to have the money to pay for training. So just make sure that whatever service organization that you're involved with is an organization that you believe in, and it's an organization that you want to help and you want to be a part of, regardless of whether it results in any business for you or not. So that it's a win-win. If it does, then that's great, and it probably will result in business for you. But more importantly, you feel good about what you're doing there anyway. Another thing for building business is social media. You should really be involved in some way in social media because a lot of the people in your community will be in communication with each other through the social media. And if you're involved in that, then you tie into that whole community communication network that helps you stay in touch with what's going on and helps others to stay in touch with you, and actually makes it easier for new clients potentially to connect with you. So you want to make sure that you're involved with that. So these are all ways that you put yourself out there so that you have the opportunity to get in front of people, to talk about the training. By the way, I don't go to parties and start telling them all about how you train and what you train. I mean, it comes across really too salesy. And even if somebody at a party asks you about it, just invite them to come see you. Let other people tell them about you. Don't sit there and try to sell training to somebody at a party or at a service organization or anywhere outside of your place of business, because when you do that, it cheapens you, it makes you look desperate, it makes you look like you're trying to push some service on them and they're not ready for it. So even if they're asking you about it, be careful about how you respond, because typically you're not going to get business from somebody at a party that you tell all about what you do. But if they are interested, just without being coy, without being uncooperative, just encourage them to stop by anytime. I offer free assessments, so people come in the door and I can assess them. There's no obligation. You just say it that way. Hey, you know, if you really want to know what I do, I'll be happy to do that for you. I'll be happy to help you out at no cost. You can come in, we can do a free assessment. We can talk about it then, but talking about it at a party is probably not the place to really address what the issues are that are important to you. And just leave it at that. And then you're much more likely to get somebody actually come in the door. If somebody else comes up and says, oh yeah, you got to see so-and-so. I've had that happen at parties, and that's great. Somebody says, oh, you got to work with Jim. He's gonna help you out. He's gonna fix you up. And then they're asking specific questions. You can give specific answers to specific questions, like, you know, I've got this problem with my wrist, and what do you think about that? I give a little bit of information to say, you know, really to address that issue, to look at that more carefully, you should come in. I'll be happy to do that, not charge you for it. I usually give an hour assessment for free, and you get them in that way. And then they'll come in and you'll get started with them. So it's a process. It really is a process. You start with the involvement in the community that puts you out there in among the people of the community. And then you can use that social networking. I also write articles sometimes for the local newspaper. That's another great way to get your name out in front of people. And you're not writing a salesy article, you're writing about subjects that have to do with health and wellness, and that establishes you as somebody who knows something that is worthwhile for them to learn. And so that also helps to bring people in the door. So all of these are elements that will help you to get new clients, to be involved and have clients actually come to see you. You want people to come in the door, then you really have the opportunity to sell them training. So if you can do social media, you can do the service organizations, you can maybe write for the local paper if you're in that kind of community, you have an opportunity to establish a network of possible referral sources, and that brings the stream of people to you. And then it's just up to you to know enough, to be competent enough to really deliver on those promises and get people happy, make people happy with what you're offering. And I'll see you next time.
TopFitPros.com